Hello students, welcome to Disha. We are powered by Sarat Chandra IAS Academy. In the Disha program, we teach the young students of our country about the events of national as well as international importance. In this series, today we'll be talking about the Vizhinjam port, which has welcomed its first mothership. We'll see why this port is in the news, what is so special about this port, what is a mothership, alright, and the location of this port. Where is it located? All right. So let's start. First of all, why is this port is in news? So India's first deep water transshipment port. Please remember this thing. Earlier questions have been asked on port also in various different exams. Okay, so it is a very important topic for us to remember, note, and study about. So this is India's first deep water transshipment port. The Vizhinjam port or international seaport near Thiruvananthapuram received its first mothership. Okay, so many confusing things here. We don't know what is a mothership, nor we know where is this Thiruvananthapuram. Okay, but let us see forward. The 7,600 crore transshipment deepwater multipurpose seaport project in Vizhinjam is being executed by Adani Ports. So this is a private public private partnership PPP. Okay, where government and the private players partner with each other towards any project. So there should be a model. Okay, and SEZ, that means Special Economic Zone Private Limited, on a design, build, finance, operate, and then transfer DBFOT model. Okay, so there are various different models if something has to work between the public and private sector together. It is also known as PPP. All right, so let's see about this. The first thing is that build. Okay, first thing something has to be built, designed or built. All right, so let's talk about this model. This is a very good model, and this is also a very good model where something is designed, built, then financed, also operated, and finally transferred. All right, so let's see or let's understand with an example. Just a second. Okay, let's see that I have 100 rupees. I have made an investment of 100 rupees and I make a profit ultimately of 50 rupees on this. Okay, and later on I transfer this whole business to someone else, to a person B, after having making my profits. This is essentially this PPP model. Okay, here government supports this private entity in developing, designing, building this model. Ultimately, the government takes over. All right, but initial few years, initial let's say 15 years, 20 years, whatever the terms and conditions are, the private entity gets to operate this thing. All right, operate the whole project. Okay, now let's talk about where is it? What is the location? What is the location? So first of all, let's go southern side of India. Okay, port has to be in a coastal region, of course. So we are talking about this region only and the Gujarat region and all. Okay, there are multiple ports there, but this specific port we are talking about the Kerala. We are talking about the Kerala. Now Kerala's southern side, the southernmost side. Okay, there is Thiruvananthapuram or Trivandrum port breakwater here, and right close to this is Vizhinjam port. Okay, so we are talking about the southern end of Kerala. All right. Now let's talk about what is the specialty of this port. Okay, so there are a few things that we already talked about. The specialty of this port, it is the India's first deep water, international deep water transshipment port with a natural depth of more than 18 meters. Natural depth of more than 18 meters. Okay, so very deep water here. Scalable up to 20 meters, which is crucial to allow entry of large vessels and motherships. So big ships, if they have to come here, this depth naturally is required. Okay, the port is located 10 nautical miles for the international shipping route. Other advantage of the port are minimal littoral drift. What is this phenomena? This littoral drift we need to know. Okay, along the coast, and virtually no requirement of any maintenance dredging. Now, what is this maintenance dredging? And are these both connected to each other? The littoral drift and the maintenance dredging we need to see. Okay, the port is expected to compete with Colombo, Singapore. Colombo is in Sri Lanka. Okay, there is another big port in Sri Lanka. It's known as Hambantota Port. It is under Chinese control. Singapore and Dubai for transshipment traffic. It is expected to bring down the cost of movement of container to and fro foreign destinations. So that's a very good thing for India. Now let's talk about these two terms, littoral drift. So littoral drift refers to the movement of sand and sediment along the coastline by waves, currents and wind. Okay, so let's say we are going to a beach. Water is coming and going back. It is also taking the sand with itself and sand is going into the ocean. So let's say if something was 18 meters deep initially, okay, ultimately it will be less and less deep because sand will deposit here. Okay, so this is what we do not want because it will create some obstruction to the ships coming here. We don't want this. So this sand has to be removed. Okay, so this deposition is known as the littoral drift. The phenomena is known as the littoral drift. And the solution of this littoral drift is this maintenance dredging. We'll see how. Okay, so it refers to the movement of sand and sediment along the coastline by waves, currents, and wind. This natural process plays a significant role in shaping coastal landforms such as beaches, dunes, and barrier island. It involves the transportation of sediment along the shoreline, typically from areas of erosion to deposition. So we are seeing simple beach is here, sand is here. Eventually, what happens? It goes deposited in the sea and rises the land level in the sea or floor level in the sea. Ultimately, it creates trouble to the ships coming from here. Okay. So on the other hand, maintenance dredging means the process of removing accumulated sediment. Okay, we need to solve this. So what we will do, just pull the sand out and throw it back to the beach. Okay, it is necessary to maintain adequate water depth for safe navigation of ship and vessel. So how this is done, you can see here. Okay, let's say this is the sedimentation. So what will happen? The ship will travel from here to here, pull this sand into itself, deposit here, okay, over a stockpile, and then throw it out. All right. All right. Lastly, let us see what is a mothership. So, mothership is a term used to describe a large ship or vessel that serves as a base for smaller vessels or operation. All right. So, it's basically a big ship. That is all. A mothership is one of the biggest ships available, cargo type ship, the big cargo ship. Okay, you can load containers in it. You can load other ships on it also. You can also load other ships on it. And they can be left where they are needed. Okay, it's basically like a train. It's basically like a train on the sea. All right, it carries large containers which are then offloaded to other ships and then to other ports in the country and around the world. Okay, it's like an airport, it's like a train. You can call it anything, but the basic function is that storage and let's say applying for operations, allowing for operations. All right. So I hope this is all clear to you. Thank you very much for your presence. I hope you have understood the lecture. If you have any feedback or comments, please let me know. See you in next lecture. Thank you very much.